Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance. Today's tour review, we're going to be looking at some magnetic socket rails from Astro. Now, in my Prime Day tool haul, I recently picked up these from Work Pro. They were like $7 and some change a piece as a Prime Day deal, but they're really not that much more than that anyways. And I actually really like these. The magnets are super strong, and I love the way that these spin so you can kind of check your sockets out. And then I like this kind of detent where you just put your sockets on, pull them off. There's none of that extra kind of stuff on there. So I really like those, and for the price, they're pretty good. Well, while I was looking at those, I also saw these and thought I'd pull the trigger and try these out because there's some unique features on these that I think are going to be useful for a lot of people. There's some things that I absolutely love about these, and there's also some things that I don't really care for, or I prefer the Work Pro as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share that with you in this video. I'm going to go over the features of these magnetic rails, and then I'm also going to share with you what I like about them and what I don't. But let's go ahead and jump into the features. So one of the ones that I picked up is the 1/4" drive version, holds 22 sockets and a ratchet, and this one is red in color. The part number is 914VR. This one's going to run you like, I think, $19. There's some more information if you want to read those. And then it is made in Taiwan, as you can see right there. And then the other one that I picked up is the 3/8 drive, same exact version, holds 24 sockets and a ratchet, and in red. Part number on this one is 938VR, and this one's going to run you $28, $29 somewhere there, so about $10 more for the 3/8 drive. There's the information. I think that's all the same, and then also made in Taiwan there as well. So they're definitely quite more costly than that of the Work Pro, but you also have to consider, because it is that V rail and because you got socket organizers going down both sides, it's almost like getting two rails in one. So if you had two of these, at that angle right there, that would be kind of what you're paying for. So it is expensive, but it's not really as expensive if you figure the amount that you're able to put on here. And of course, the biggest selling feature is there in the name. It's that V. So you can kind of see this here. That's going to allow you to put on two different sockets or two different sets of sockets, and they kind of come in at an angle. So that's kind of nice for a couple of reasons. One is it changes the height of everything. So if I put this 1/4" socket right here on this Work Pro, it's going to stand up vertically. That's going to take up more room in a drawer than that of going at an angle. As far as vertical room, it's obviously this one's going to take up more horizontal room. This one's going to take up more vertical room. So that's going to depend on what kind of drawers you've got space that you need to fill. But you can see here that if I put a 1/4" socket on the Work Pro rail and then I try to push it in on a real shallow drawer on my 5-drawer cart, it's not going to go in and out, versus I can take that same socket, move it over to the V rail, put that Astro rail in and out, and that socket's no longer hitting anymore. So that's a big advantage. Again, if you have a lot more shallow drawers that you've got space in that you want to put some sockets in, pretty good chance you might be able to. I think the 1/4" is probably the only ones that are going to fit in those small drawers. I don't think you'd ever get a 3/8 deep well. Now, if you change over to the shallows, you're probably going to be able to fit those in most cases. But again, don't take my word for it, because not all deep well sockets are the same. Not all drawers are the same height. So you're going to have to do some measuring and figure that out for yourself. So many variations that there's no way that I could cover that. So that's one big advantage, is that height feature. And again, the double rails, if that's something that you're looking for, you could do that. The next thing is that this also holds a ratchet. You can see this right here. So if I take this 1/4" ratchet, gear wrench, slide that on there. So now I can hold a ratchet in place. It kind of has the spacing right for the head there. And then now I could run SAE on one side, metric on the other, have my ratchet. So if I want to have that in my toolbox that way, I can, or I can take this out of my toolbox and then go to the job, whatever it is that I'm doing, and have everything that I might possibly need. So I think ratchet storage is also pretty nice. However, it is very different depending upon what ratchet you're using. It's all case-by-case basis on whether or not it works or not, because like here is the 3/8 gear wrench. It's almost like it's too high. Now I can change like my flex head on this to make it hit, but it just doesn't fit in there right. Now, if you've got it laid flat, it's probably not going to move around much. I don't care how that fits in there. Like the 1/4" gear wrench on this one is like it's made for it, but I don't really have any 3/8 ratchet that I feel like, fits real well. There's a really old Craftsman. That's kind of a little bit better, not moving around as much. Again, if it's laying in your drawer for storage purposes, that's going to be fine. If you're moving around, they do move quite a bit. So nice, and then also not nice, but it is nice to have that feature. Now, as far as the magnets go, they are strong enough that you can see here, I've got several 3/8 sockets on this rail right here. I'm slapping it onto my cabinet, holding just fine, taking the sockets on and off. It's not pulling off the cabinet. And then here you can also see it in my drawer. So it's not going to move around in your drawer. It's going to go through that liner and still kind of keep it organized in your drawer, not move around well. So the magnets are definitely plenty strong enough. And they've also got like this backing on the back. I like that. That's going to keep from scratching your toolbox. And then you also have these anchor points right here. So you could also screw it to the wall if you don't have something metal. That's another option as well. So most of those things are things I like about it. Now, the one thing that I really don't like about it is that I love the Work Pros, how they've got that ball detent. And I just take my sockets and I just pull them on and off. They snap on and off, come on and off kind of easy. Well, the Astros are that twist lock. You can see right here, twist, unlock, and lock. So then you're going to have to take your socket, slide it on there. It's going to just come on and off like this if you don't lock it, or you have to twist it. Now it won't come off, and then you have to twist it back in order to take that off. I don't really like that because I sometimes take my rails, pull them out of my toolbox, and take them with me. Now, again, if I was someone who was just going to sit this in my toolbox, I don't think I'd ever twist them. I'd just take my sockets and kind of put them on there, pull them off, put them on there and pull them off. But twist lock, I don't know if you guys like it or not. It's not my personal favorite, but I am interested in your guys' feedback. It's just a curious question. Do you prefer the ball detent where you just push it on and off, or do you prefer the twist lock? You can comment that down below. And then also what you got to take in consideration, one thing I like about the V-Rail is, like, if I've got sockets where I can really read them, like I can take and put that on there, and now as that's laying in my drawer, I can see my numbers. So like I could see that 9/16 laying there, versus if it's vertical like that, I can't really see that. So it gives you an option to be able to read better. But if you have a socket that has this spot right here, if you don't line it, like if I line it up on this flat and then I lock it, it's pretty tight. It's not moving at all. But if I unlock it and I line that up with this other side over here and lock it, tons of play. You know, so it matters which way you put that kind of socket on there. So like your impact sockets and all that kind of stuff, you're going to have to pay attention if that's going to bother you to have that play. Again, you can put it on there on a certain side, lock it, no play. But if I move it that extra turn, you're going to have quite a bit of play. So again, I don't really like that as well. So overall, magnets are great. I think that V is unique. The fact that you can fit 2 sets of sockets basically on one rail is super nice. Holding the ratchet is a very nice idea. If it works with your ratchet, you're going to love it. If it doesn't work with your ratchet, you're going to hate it. And then you can also take these on and off as well. I guess I'll show that. Let me grab a small screwdriver. So if you want less rails in here, maybe you've got some bigger sockets and you need more room, it's pretty simple. There's a little tab up in underneath of here. I don't know if I can get it in the picture without messing up my pad. Little black tab right there. If you press that in, that comes up. So then you can come in here and take some of these off and swap those around. So I may actually play around and see if the Work Pro, in fact, I may just go ahead and do that right now. I haven't taken the Work Pro off. I don't know what's involved in it. Looks like possibly a screw. I'm going to see if I can take one of these out, if they'll work inside of this groove right here, because then if that's a possibility where I could change these out to a ball detent type. Of course, I'm not going to have the right screwdriver right there. Let's see if this will do it. It's going to be hard to get around that magnet. Then that would be a nice option. Maybe you've got a bunch of socket rails laying around and you don't like the twist lock, but you like that V groove option or that V option. Maybe that's something that you can do. So if I take a Work Pro 1/4 inch right here with that detent, I'm going to take one of these off. Let's see if this fits in there. Nope, not really. So they're not compatible with one another. So you'd have to figure out if you've got some somewhere that are exactly the same as this. But with this, you could also probably take off the 1/4 inch. I guess I'll do that real fast too, so I can answer that question. Can you mix and match? Are they the same size? They look to be. They're the same rail. So I'm sure you can take some 1/4 inch ones, move it over to the 3/8 drive. But I guess I will double check it real fast, just to make sure. It's pretty easy to get this off. Make sure that these are compatible. That way, if you want to take a 3/8 and a 1/4 inch and mix them, yeah, see, those are compatible. So you could take a rail, put 1/4 inch on one side, 3/8 on the other. If that's something that you want to do, you can do that. So overall, again, I think they're nice, and the price isn't as bad if you consider how many sockets this thing holds. Ultimately, what matters is, do you have some lower profile drawers where you'd like to put some sockets and maybe your traditional style won't let you? This might be a good fit for you. It just depends on if you actually prefer twist lock or not. That might be the deal breaker for you. But there you go, guys. There is the Astro V12 locking magnetic socket rails. Again, quarter-inch drive is going to cost you about $18, $19. 3/8 drive, roughly around $28, $29. A little bit lower profile than your standard once you put the sockets on there. And then again, they hold more. Just depends on what you're looking for. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about these. And if you're somebody who's actually been running these for quite some time, because again, they're new to me, I can't really review them in the sense of, hey, do they hold up well and all those kinds of things. Drop that kind of feedback in the comment below. That always helps people who are here watching to decide if they want to buy these. They can go down in the comments and read your comments as well, almost like a review within a review type thing. But again, I'm interested in what you guys think about these. Let me know in the comments below. As always, I hope this video was helpful. You guys stay safe. Have a blessed day. I'll see you on the next video.